We're thrilled to have you here with us. Thanks for tuning in to my podcast with David F. Anderson Sr., who's worked hard all week to bring you a great show. So, without wasting another moment, let's dive right in.
Hi, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to this week's show. I'm your host, David F. Anderson Sr., and tonight's co-hosts are Carol Stevens, Linda Clark, Ralph Thomas, and Richard White. Tonight, we're going to discuss the gift, that special gift that you get from dyslexia. I know it sounds a little unusual, but trust me, there's a special gift. If you have dyslexia, you know about the gift, you understand it, and that's what we're talking about. Since I was a little kid, I could look at things and see how they were put together by just looking at them. I could just see, well, this had to go this way and that had to go that way. Same thing in construction. I could look at it and say, hey, this is how that goes. Look at a set of blueprints and understand every bit of it. Couldn't read any of the writing on there, but could understand every bit of it. Same thing on schismatics, anything like that. I assumed everyone thought that way, but that was a special gift that dyslexia gave me, to think outside of the box. Your reading and writing skills are not the same, so these skills here are sort of amplified, so you can do this. The gift, it's a special gift that anyone who has dyslexia can tell you about that gift.
Individuals with dyslexia are often recognized for their capacity to approach challenges creatively and view situations from a fresh perspective. This distinctive problem-solving ability, sometimes referred to as the gift, empowers them to identify alternative solutions where others may see only obstacles, fostering innovative approaches to finding answers. For example, renowned entrepreneur Richard Branson, who has dyslexia, credits his unique way of thinking for helping him launch successful ventures like Virgin Atlantic. In classrooms, students with dyslexia often devise inventive ways to complete assignments, such as developing visual aids or hands-on models that not only help them learn but also benefit their peers. These real-world examples highlight the valuable strengths of neurodiversity and underscore the importance of appreciating and encouraging diverse talents.
Dyslexia is not solely a learning disability, it also comes with unique strengths and abilities. Many well-known figures, such as entrepreneurs, artists, and scientists, have credited their dyslexic thinking for their creativity and problem-solving skills, showing how embracing neurodiversity can enrich society and drive innovation. Understanding and embracing dyslexia can unlock an individual's full potential and lead to personal growth. When people recognize their unique talents and learn to navigate challenges, they build confidence and resilience, paving the way for both personal and professional success. Practical strategies and support systems are essential for harnessing the gifts of dyslexia. For example, using assistive technology like text-to-speech software can make reading and writing tasks more accessible. Seeking mentorship from others with dyslexia provides guidance and inspiration, while accessing specialized tutoring helps individuals leverage their strengths and address challenges in learning environments. Emotional well-being plays a crucial role in the journey of individuals with dyslexia. Supportive communities and positive reinforcement help individuals build self-esteem and overcome obstacles, emphasizing that dyslexia is not a limitation, but a different way of seeing the world. Dispelling myths and misconceptions about dyslexia is crucial for creating a more inclusive society. By highlighting success stories and promoting understanding of neurodiversity, we foster acceptance and empower individuals with dyslexia to thrive.
Working construction and doing estimates, the gift was an invaluable thing to have. A customer could describe to me what they wanted, and I could envision that thing. No matter what it was, I could envision it, and it made it so easy to do the estimates that way. It was like having a built-in blueprint in my head all the time. That's why talking about dyslexia and having this conversation is an important thing to have. This is an important asset to have in your toolbox. And it's an important asset for employers. They can understand the value of someone with dyslexia, the importance of having someone amongst their team. If you're running a business and you're sending people out into the field, you want someone out in that field that's able to think outside of the box You want someone who can solve problems. That's what dyslexia does. Let me give you a perfect example. Most people let's say they're getting a new roof. The roof's leaking. They need a new roof on their home. So what's the first thing that most people would do? They're going to pick up the phone. They're going to call 3 or 4 different contractors. They're going to tell those contractors, I need a new roof on my house. They're going to give them the address of that contractor, come out and give them an estimate. And then they're going to look down at 4 estimates for a new roof. That's how most people do that. That's what you do. Believe it or not, that's absolutely incorrect. That's the worst thing that you could do. You're going to get the worst job ever when you do that. And everyone does that. That's why so many people end up with bad roofs, bad work, bad jobs, because they do that very thing right there. They let someone else come in and make all the decisions for them and then hand them an estimate. Think about that just for 1 second. If you call up 4 contractors, you have 4 contractors, and this is what most people do this. I've spent 35 years in the business. Most people call you up and say, look, I need a new roof. I need it done right now, and I need the best price. I'm getting 4 estimates, and whoever is the best price, that's who's getting the job. And that's how they do their estimates. And everyone seems to think that's correct. It isn't correct. That's not how it's done. What you end up with when you do that is the worst possible roof you could ever put on your house. Because most contractors who in that situation are going to do, I've done it myself. You've got old inventory that you've been stocking from one job to the next, leftover shingles, leftover products, stuff that's outdated. That's what you're going to sell to them. You're going to give them the best. They want the best price. So you're going to give them the best price on this stuff that you've got laying around in your shop that's discontinued or outdated. No warranty on it. It's already part of its life's already gone. That's the roof you're going to end up with. And no one's going to be the same. This contractor sells this brand. This contractor sells this brand. This contractor does it this way. This contractor does it that way. And you got 4 different estimates on 4 different roofs that look nothing like each other. Nothing like each other at all. But yet you're to choose from that. You're comparing apples to oranges. That's not how you do it. The first thing you do when you need a new roof is you log on to your computer and you find a company that will measure your roof for you from a satellite. I want you to think about that for just a second. Now, that costs you about $125 to $200, depending on who you use and how extensive the report is. But you literally log on to your computer, you find the satellite company, they'll beam down and guarantee the measurement of your roof 100%. They'll give you an estimate of the size of your roof, a drawing of your roof, the exact number of shingles that it takes to replace that roof. They'll give that to you. Now you've got an estimate with the exact amount of shingles that you're going to need. They're going to give you every detail on that, completely spelled out for you. You make 4 copies of that roof size, and you stack it on your table in 4 different piles. And then you go back onto your laptop and you research the type of roof that you want. Do you want a metal roof or do you want an asphalt shingle roof? If you want an asphalt shingle roof, which is the best roof, in my opinion, in 35 years that there is, for the dollar. There's nothing wrong with metal roofs. They're a great roof and they last forever. But dollar for dollar, your asphalt shingle is still the best buy. Doesn't matter what anyone else says. I'm telling you that's the best buy. And it is. And when it comes to shingles, there's all kinds of brands. Don't pay any attention to those. Log on to Owens Corning Sure Shot. 6 nails per shingle, the best shingle there is on the market. And you take the time to pick that shingle out that you want. And you print everything there is about that shingle. You look at the venting and how roof's done. You print everything there is about the venting. And you take a look at the felt paper, the underlayment, the ice guard. They're going to show you how it should be installed. You just simply print one copy of that, just an idea of how it goes in, so you have something to look at, so that the contractors that come out there know you understand, even though you don't have to understand or ever read anything on that paper. Just pick out your shingles in the colors that you want. But you still want to print those things and stick them on top of each one of those piles. Now that gives the appearance that you know more, just as much as they do, about shingles. That's what you want. You want that appearance. So you print what there is about venting, you print what there is about ice guard, you print what there is about underlayment, you pick out the color of your shingle, and you stick that on each one of those piles. Then you go back to your laptop and you print. You want them to clean up everything. Everything that you want this contractor to do, you print it out and you stick that on top, copy on each one of those piles. Now, when that contractors come, you just hand that to them. You tell them, I guarantee the measurements on this estimate. This is what I want, and this is what I want a price on. And what you're going to get is 4 contractors competing for your work, going to give you the best price on labor, because everyone is doing the exact material. Everything there is the same. Nothing is going to change on that price. No contractor is going to get a giant discount that he can offset giving you a better price on material. That's not going to happen. So you picking it out isn't going to change anything. They all pay the same price. And I almost would guarantee you ABC Supply is that contractor's go-to roofer supply, because she is the #1 roofing company in the world right now, ABC Supply. So that's just to get that out of the way. Now you've got 4 estimates on a beautiful roof that will last you forever. And you'll be able to pick out the best contractor on the best price. And when you're done, you'll have the best. You won't have the cheapest roof. You will have the best roof, because they're competing for your work. They can all buy that material. They can take care of all that at anyone they want to, but you've got everything selected for them. They're only working on their labor. You've measured the roof. You've picked out the material. Everything's set before them. That's the price you want. You want them to supply everything, but you want them to, that gives the impression that you know what you're doing, even if you never look at none of that stuff, other than the simple report that tells you how big that roof is and pick out the color of shingles that you want. Everything else is spelled out to you. They'll understand when they're looking down that, whoa, I want new step flashing. If you've got step flashing on your house, replace that. You got a chimney, replace the flashing around the chimney. Make sure there's a cricket added. You're going to see all those things on Owens Corning's website, telling you what should be done in roof and how it should be done. You simply print a copy of that. You don't have to learn it. Print a copy, stick it on top of that stack. When that contractor looks down, he's going to see there's a cricket behind that fireplace, behind that chimney. She wants that. So every contractor will give you a price with that same cricket. You see where we're going here? They're all bidding for the same exact thing, not 4 different roofs at the best price. That doesn't give you a good roof. That gives you something you're going to replace in a few years and say, why do I have to keep replacing my roof? And you'll do the same thing again. Best contractor, best price. That's not how you do it.
No matter the topic, what matters most is sharing our stories and helping each other. That's the heart of my podcast with David F. Anderson Sr. Every conversation with David centers on dyslexia, aiming to shed light on it and share stories of hope and encouragement. By discussing what works and what doesn't in our lives, we help one another through our experiences. Bringing the show together involves over 11 software companies, countless hours of production and editing, all funded entirely by David. His website offers nothing for sale, and the show airs free, with costs covered by the sale of his books. Supporting the podcast means supporting his work. His website, blog posts, and social media content about dyslexia are all made possible by book sales. Simply type davidfandersonsenior.com into your browser, explore, visit davidfandersonsenior.com to explore all of his work. Support by purchasing a book, leave us a message, sign up for our monthly newsletter, or share your story with us. Your feedback and stories help us grow our community and inspire new work from David F. Anderson Sr. We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for listening to this episode of my podcast with David F. Anderson. If you've been waiting for the right moment, now is the time. Visit davidfandersonsr.com to learn more and explore David's work. Your support means a lot. Consider purchasing a book today. Thank you for being part of our community.